brings us to Florida, our last country. So here's what Florida does. Florida is the most interesting of all of them.
We are our own country.
Sort of. We actually get a lot smaller.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, well, because we gotta remember, Florida's got a lot of deep south folk, right? So the dividing line here will be south of Jacksonville and north of Gainesville, and cut in half. So everything basically north of Gainesville goes and joins the deep south.
Okay, that makes sense. That would make sense. Yep.
Right. So that's going to leave us as the smallest country by a lot.
Okay.
Both geographically and in terms of numbers.
Yep.
It is also going to mean that the demographics of what's left of Florida changes a whole bunch. Okay. You're going to see a huge increase in the influence from the Caribbean. You're going to see a huge influence of. We're also going to see a huge influx of black folk coming down from the deep south.
Yep.
Because those black folk going to look around and be like, well, the only place that ain't snowing is Florida, so we're going that way.
That's true.
That's what I do. So, and so then all of a sudden, the demographics, this is no longer a state that is even 40% white. It's now a country that is like maybe 35% white, with a lot of Hispanics, a lot of blacks, and then probably a fair amount of other folks kind of spilling in from all over the place. So this becomes an incredibly diverse spot, but it also becomes way wealthier than anybody would suspect. Because Florida has always been an incredibly cheap place to do business. So the Space Coast, for example, is going to explode.
Yeah.
And so we're going to do that. You're going to see tourism is still going to stay around because, listen, if we don't get renamed Disney World, we're going to be lucky. So tourism's going to hang around. And then don't forget, we have the more old people than anybody. So our medical and hospitals are already top notch.
Sure.
So we've got a whole bunch of stuff going for us there, and we'll finally have some decent goddamn food. So,
yeah, that's true.
I'm saying. So we end up as this really crazy multicultural spot, but we're also super Florida.
Yeah,
so, we're going to keep, experimenting. I think the polite term for this is innovation. But mad scientist may be a little more accurate, right?
That's true. But that's, you know what? That's actually, innovation is actually more accurate because much like when someone is, the difference between crazy and eccentric is just the amount of money that you have. So the difference between mad scientist and innovative is how much money you have. Like right now, Elon Musk is innovative. He's digging holes in LA, but he's innovative because he has the money. Otherwise, he'd be a mad scientist.
Yeah, he could be both. Anyway, so here's the part that gets really interesting for me, though, right? So the Deep South is looking for somebody to go conquer because they need an enemy.
Okay.
And similar to what you saw happen with Russia and the Ukraine, there's a bunch of Southerners still living in Florida who are like, those are our people, and the red states go, you know what, the Deep South, we're going to take it. But then something amazing happens.
Okay.
Between the huge Hispanic populations and the shared space coast, the shared space boom, Florida and Texas become real good friends.
So Texas become real good friends. That is an interesting. It makes sense. It's on brand, I think.
Well, we got to remember too. Have you ever don't get me wrong, I don't mind messing with Texas. I think it's kind of funny. Yeah. Have you ever called a Texan a Southerner?
No, I've never done that.
If he's within arm's reach, if he or she is within arm's reach, don't do that.
Okay. All right.
Texans are not Southerners. They find that they don't like Southern. They get tired of being equated with the same thing. So there's already a little bit of that, a little bit of animosity. And also one other thing you could say about Texas, they abhor a bully. Okay. So they've got economic and cultural ties with the smallest country getting picked on by another country that they don't really like.
Okay.
So between the two of those, there becomes this thing. And also, to be fair, if the Deep South, if Reds were to try to come into Florida, we have a lot of crazy people. So
we have no shortage of that. No.
And it's gonna continue, I think. I mean, we just at a certain point, somebody is gonna start launching alligators at them. I'm not joking. They will.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No. I actually picture. There are two people in my head that automatically jumped into my brain. Looking at you, Matt. He knows he's probably listening to this and going, yeah, I'd be the one throwing the alligator.
Listen, it'd be super effective. You drop a 12-footer in the midst of a group of people, and unless you're a Floridian, you're panicking. All right,
yeah, absolutely.
The Floridians just knock over whoever's not from Florida and step back in the zigzag pattern, and we're fine.
The zigzag pattern. Everybody from Florida knows this. You know, that is something that that is one of those things that I thought everybody knew, because when I came, so I learned about the zigzag pattern, to run in a zigzag pattern, when I got to Florida. And I just thought that everybody knew that shit. I moved to I spent a couple of years in Louisiana, and I guess in Louisiana they didn't know that. I'm like, in Louisiana, you guys have swamps here, don't you?
I figured, I thought Louisiana would know that. Like Massachusetts, no, they would. Why would they know that? How would they ever learn that?
In Massachusetts, I talked to people in Massachusetts, and they're like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. And I was like, does nobody else know what to do when an alligator runs after you? Is that like I don't understand. I think
you trip a Yankee and you run zigzag.
You know what? The Texan Southerner thing might be the same thing as the New Englander Yankee thing.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I do, however, I like to call New Englanders Yankees because it annoys me.
I know you do. And it's
anyone north of Virginia, y'all are Yankees.
That is hilarious. So, dude,